Shaka, there was a real good effort by you guys on not allowing the runouts and stuff throughout the whole game. But second chance points during their big run to be kind of the key.
I agree.
What did you see during their big run that you didn't like?
Well, it's a combination of two things. And number one, well, I'd say three things. First, when you come in here and you play in this unbelievable atmosphere, you know that a run is coming and the crowd is going to be behind their team, and that's going to give them a level of energy and momentum. So that's the first thing. Second thing is we missed some pretty easy shots that, I think we normally would make, but they didn't go in. And then on a few other possessions, we didn't execute great, and we didn't get good shots. And then the third thing is Kansas made some great plays, and I think you got to give those guys credit. Perry Ellis had a terrific game. I thought their guards, including Selden, those guys were very, very aggressive. Obviously, making 10 threes is a problem. I thought defensively we were just about a half step off in the second half compared to the way we were in the first half. And, that allowed them some opportunities. But, again, it's not just about our defense. It's about their guys making some really good plays. And they put you in a bind with a lot of the stuff that they do.
What happened to Shaq?
He injured his shoulder. He kind of banged it, tweaked his shoulder, and he wanted to come back and play, but our athletic trainer didn't feel like he could go.
You probably can't script it better than that start. Did you have an inkling that you guys would come out that hot?
We just want to come out and start the game well. You certainly know going on the road into a tough atmosphere that you want to make sure that you play with a level of energy and intensity, and you make the other team work for anything they get on their offensive end. So I thought our guys started the game really, really well. Good energy, good togetherness. But again, Kansas is going to make a run. You know that they're going to fight back. And in the second half, we didn't have the same connectivity that we needed to have. Again, Kansas had a lot to do with that.
Shaka, how much do you see in this particular conference, this particular time of year, fatigue for both teams weighing into these games? And is it a bit of attrition that way for both?
It can be. I think that's a good point. I think it depends on the team, and it depends on even individuals on each team. But, you got both teams, guys playing heavy minutes. And, with us, we were down a guy going into the game, a pretty important one, and then we lost another one, so that impacted our minutes. But again, look at Kansas; their starters played a ton as well. These guys are great athletes. They're trained at a high level to play this way, but they are human beings, and they do get impacted by fatigue, external stressors. They have other things that they have to deal with throughout their days beyond just playing a game. So I got to give a lot of credit to the guys on Kansas's team, because you got 35 minutes, 39 minutes, 37 minutes, 37 minutes, and those guys were stronger in the last 10 minutes than they were early.
Along those lines, same thing. You said you guys were maybe a half step behind the second half. Did you see that as an energy matter, or just something what Kansas was able to do with having something left?
Well, it's amazing how much the mind can impact the body. I think, we're always capable of doing more than our body thinks, but it's the way your mind handles it. And again, when you come on the road, that's why not a lot of people come in here and win. It's a combination: great coaching, great players, great atmosphere, and it's not easy. So, I thought Kansas's players did a great job continuing to fight and battle, and they had more energy in the second half than they had in the first, and we had a little bit less.
Do you think it was strictly energy and team unity that allowed you to get off to the good start and build a 12-point lead, or was there anything else?
Our guys did a good job coming in and just trying to follow our plan and, playing with aggressiveness early. I think in a game like this, you got to be the more aggressive team if you want to have any chance of winning. The one thing that impacts that and you know, you talk to players, they'll talk about this all the time, is fouls. And so sometimes when there's a lot of fouls called early in a half or in a certain situation, that can impact your mind in terms of aggressiveness. But if you want to be a high-level player, you got to find a way to play through that and continue to be an aggressive guy.
Did something happen to Eric in the second half? Was he hurt, or just only played 7 minutes in the second half?
Yeah, Wayne Selden was bombing threes in his face. I love Eric, and he's a great player, and he's doing a lot of terrific things for us, but he's got to continue to get better in terms of his urgency. He knows that. He's a really, really important guy for us, and he's going to play big minutes. He still ended up playing 21 minutes. But, you know, in a game like today's, you kind of have to make a decision as a coach. Do you have your quote-unquote best lineup on the floor offensively or defensively? And Kansas is making threes. Kansas is attacking us. I thought we were getting, for the most part, pretty good looks. We missed some shots. We needed to stop them. We didn't guard them enough. You can't give them 46 points in the second half and hope to come in here and win.
What kind of challenges does Perry Ellis present?
Yeah, he's terrific. I said it before the game, I don't know why he doesn't get more attention nationally. I mean, I know in the Big 12, he's been a guy that's been highly thought of for a long time, but you know, he deserves to be talked about just like some of these other guys as a All-American or maybe even, you know, National Player of the Year candidate, because he is hard to deal with. And we knew coming into the game, the thing I was most worried about was the most simple thing they do, which is a high, you know, pick and pop. And their guards are good, so you got to give some attention to the guard coming off the pick and pop. And if you don't, then they're going to turn the corner and lay it up. But when you do, they throw it back to him, and now he's in space. And no matter how we guarded it, Kansas had an answer. They really had a lot of answers today.
Two last ones. How much do you think you can take out of the fact the first maybe 3-4 times they came back at you, you were able to hold them off at bay before they finally got you?
Well, you know, the best teams have a high level of resolve and toughness, and I think we've made some progress with that. Obviously, today shows you we still have a ways to go, but I think that's a good sign for our guys that we were able to hang in there and battle back a couple times when they tried to, you know, kind of punch back. But at the end of the day, we weren't good enough, particularly on the defensive end, to battle back when it mattered most.
Last one.
Coach, there were times defensively where you guys were able to shut it down, and there were times where it seemed like Kansas was just going to score every possession. Are you more discouraged by the offensive runs or encouraged by the fact that the defense was able to shut it down for chunks of the game?
Well, it depends if you want to look at the glass half empty or half full. I mean, the reality is we have to get better on the defensive end. There's no question. But again, I think, you know, in these types of things, it's so easy to lose sight of the fact that Kansas had a lot to do with that as well. You know, you got to give Perry Ellis credit. You got to give, their guards credit. If we were to play them again tomorrow, there's certain things that obviously we've got to find a way to defend better. And we can't let them score 19 points off of second chance opportunities. So am I encouraged or discouraged? I just know we got to get better. I'm not bummed out. I'm not going to drop my head because I got to set the example for our guys. I'm upset because, you know, we don't want to lose. You know, we never take kindly to that. And even coming in here, there's an expectation on your part as a team that you're playing to win. Now, 34 straight times, the opposing team hasn't done that. But I think we can continue to get better, and that's the most important thing.
Go ahead. Shaka, now that this week is over, how do you feel about your team's sort of mental toughness growth? You know, real win at West Virginia, quick turnaround, come here, hang tough here. How do you think that's progressing?
I think they did a nice job in terms of mental toughness overall, our guys. Again, they're human beings. You know, they're not machines. You can't just say, okay, do this, and it's that easy that they're going to do it. I think they believed in each other, and they stayed together for the most part. If you look at the last 10, 12 minutes of this game, and when we watch the tape, we weren't as sharp as we had been 40 minutes at West Virginia, and the first 3/4 or 2/3 of the game here. But the other team has something to do with that, and external factors have something to do with that as well. We're not machines, but we got to get better. You know, if you want to go on the road in a given week, and I think we have one more week like this where we'll play 2 ranked teams in the same week. That's what happens in this league. If you got 2 road games, there's a pretty good chance they're both going to be ranked.
Thanks, Colin.